Hello, and welcome to Talk Relationship to Me, the show that explores some of the most important relationship topics. I'm Dr. Alana Hoffman. As a clinical psychologist, I focus on all things relationships, from dating to sex to long-term relationships to divorce. I cover it all. I use my professional lens as a psychologist, as well as lived experience to cover these topics. Do you need to talk relationships? You're in the right place. On today's episode, I am joined again by Andrew Ninnemann, and we have so much to discuss about Summer House. The finale was last night, so we are fresh and ready to talk about this. Unfortunately, we only have 45 minutes, but we will make it work. I stayed up past 10 o'clock, which is a big deal, and the whole season, the whole everything, all of it is just so much to discuss. So thank you again, Andrew, for joining me. And where should we even begin? As Esther Perel says, where should we begin?
I just watched the episode 30 minutes ago, so my mind is racing and blown by what I just went through and experienced as a viewer. My God.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know where to start.
I honestly don't even know where to start. We have to start somewhere. So the last time I spoke of this show was an emergency Scamanda episode where I came on. I did a solo episode about this. So since then,
the people had to hear it.
Yeah, for sure. Breaking news. So since then, we have watched the rest of the season, which has been about 5 episodes since then, kind of knowing what is happening right now, which is, Amanda and West are together, but we can sort of back and, people's reactions have kind of come out to this. But we could just talk about kind of the remainder of the season, which is basically, Amanda and Kyle's marriage continues to crumble before our eyes. West and Sierra sort of, rekindle some things.
Yep.
Those are basically there's a Kyle and Carl friendship storyline, which I really love and I want to dive into. I mean, there's
Lindsay and Carl kind of
Lindsay and
arc.
Carl. Yes. There's so much. There's so much.
Yeah, I almost feel like we just dive on the season
We can
finale,
just talk about the
and
finale.
then just
That's
bring.
yeah. Let's do that.
I mean, it's burning through my brain. I'm stunned.
I know I say this every time, but I just will continue to say it. It is, I mean, this was one of the most raw. I think I've said this about every episode, but like truly, but
every time it's gotten more raw in your defense.
I'm like the girl who cried reality TV, but like it's just, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And really it is like each episode really has gotten more real and more raw. And like, it's to the point where anybody who dismisses it, like I just get truly furious and enraged at people.
Yeah, we don't talk to those people.
I just can't, who don't take this seriously and dismiss it. And I mean, maybe this is like my stuff to work on, but it is a level of anger that, because it's just so real and raw and we just see the humanity and all these people and the raw emotion and the relationships and the all of it, the positive to the love, the connection, the falling apart, the rage, the heartbreak, just all of it.
To come back together sometimes.
Yeah, just all of it is just wow.
Yeah, that may be some of your stuff. You definitely work it out in like 101 individual therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, we could bring it into the podcast, like, don't get me wrong. But yeah, anybody who watches this season of television, if they've never watched reality TV and tries to tell me that this is all produced or this is real or doesn't understand just the pure humanity of reality TV, they're out of my life.
100%. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, so okay, and obviously this episode is going to contain spoilers, so I guess I should do that. Yeah, I almost want to start at the end. I mean, I almost, where like the last scene, of
It's
Kyle
top of my mind.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle and Amanda are sitting on the stoop of the house, And the house itself is also like a character in the show, like fully, how they decorate the house, how they come back to it every summer, how like the shit that's broken in the house, like the layout of it,
Right.
the backyard, the pool. It's like a really its own character. And I think it's interesting. Like as they're leaving, they're like so sad, like goodbye. It reminds me of summer camp. All their hugging goodbyes reminds me of at the end of summer camp, people are tearful, hug each other.
And if
That's a real thing, like leaving
to
this
your
place.
I feel like, with summer camp, because maybe you don't go to school with those people or whatnot, and adolescence and all the feelings and hormones of it, it feels like the end of something, right?
Right.
And I think this goodbye on this season, everyone feels there's an end.
Totally, totally.
It's,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I don't necessarily remember, like, the finale, but, like, I don't remember seeing the scene where, like, everybody was, like, hugging and crying each other, like, and maybe they did it and they just didn't film it, and this one was captured more, but but you're right, yeah, it really did feel like the end of something, in a way that it hadn't
yeah.
in a way that it hadn't before, and, I mean, we certainly know now that it is the end of Kyle and Amanda's marriage, and, I mean, as we saw the whole season, it was just more than falling. I mean, it was just, totally falling apart. I mean, people. There's all kinds of speculation about when this Amanda West thing started. Like was it happening in the house? My honest, yeah,
Viewer side note, Alana sent me the listing for the home for sale. So if anybody's got a lot of cash to
that's right.
spare, looking to continue the series, whatever you have in mind, it's out there.
That's right.
I don't remember the exact address, but
That's
what
right.
was it?
The summer house
3
house
million,
is on
5
there. I
million?
think it was 5 million. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
So if anybody's looking
So
for a Hampton summer house with a lot of a lot of history and a broken
storied,
door.
storied.
Yeah, a lot of history and a
Yes.
broken door.
Yeah. So, I mean, that scene, right? I feel like it's, you're watching. I don't I felt like I had lived different versions in my own breakups. Like, it feels like such a shared experience in a certain way, not, all the variables are very different, obviously, but just
Yeah.
the sadness that might come with a breakup, that two parties just know it's not right for each other, but maybe one is pushing them out there and leading that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Amanda has been checked out all summer, like, you see it. I mean, she even said, she even says, "Well, when we separate, like, I'll keep this watch," when he gave her the watch, and she makes these she's just this total.
Right.
Kyle has said many times, like, I stay out all night. She doesn't check in on me. She doesn't respond to me. She doesn't, I come home. She doesn't greet me. I mean, she just I've talked about the pursuer fatigue before, where it's just you pursue, pursue, pursue. You're not getting what you want, and then you're done. Right? You become the withdrawer. So the role is totally flipped. And I think we really have
As in
seen the.
Kyle as the withdrawer?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Or the
think
flip to that, yeah.
it flipped to Kyle pursuing, Amanda withdrawing. I think the years
Mhm.
before have been the opposite, where, Kyle would go out, Amanda would call, not want to spend time with him, not want him to come, want him to change, all these things. Wanting someone to change is also a aspect of pursuing, right? And so now she's really been like, I literally have nothing to say. I can't talk about this. I mean, the huge, the fight that Kyle and Carl got into, I believe was just a matter was triggered by Amanda's complete coldness, at
Definitely.
that dinner. And of course, Kyle like said fuck you to her, and but I think like he he can't access her, and hasn't been able to for a long time. Yes.
Can you give, just if the viewer doesn't know, the listener, I don't know if you're watching us, but you can always see our faces if you'd like. Can you give a little context about the pursuer withdrawer
Yeah.
idea, the concept?
Yeah, so this is an attachment, from an attachment perspective, there is often, not always, a dynamic in a couple where one person is the pursuer and one person is the withdrawer. And the pursuer often has anxious attachment where they feel like their partner is going to leave them. And so they'll sort of do anything they can to make sure that they don't leave. And this is like, comes out in these very small ways, can come out in these very small ways of wanting attention, wanting connection, always asking to talk, always asking, wanting to talk about feelings all the time, and sometimes the withdrawer in this dynamic is on the opposite. So they have
Mhm.
avoidant attachment, meaning that closeness and connection is very threatening to them. It makes them feel vulnerable. They do not connect that way. It's overwhelming. A lot of emotion and intensity is very overwhelming for someone with avoidant attachment. So they withdraw from it. The more they withdraw, the pursuer feels like they're not listening, they're not connected, they don't care. They pursue even more. Hey, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. That even more overwhelms the withdrawer. They withdraw even more, and this dance really kind of continues. And I see a lot of this in my practice. I see a lot of this on television,
Mhm.
and it's about changing that dynamic, understanding why someone has such anxious attachment, understanding why someone has avoidant attachment, and ultimately, if there was to be repair there, the pursuer has to stop pursuing and the withdrawer has to come forward. But in Kyle and Amanda's situation, there has just been so much hurt and anger and resentment. And
Yeah.
they would say now, Kyle would say now, well, that's already happening. I was trying to reach out, I was trying to, and he does, he says, I've tried to talk to you, you don't give a shit. And I mean, she doesn't, she just doesn't give a shit, and she can't, she can't come back from it. It's the kind of withdrawal that she's so hurt, she's super closed off. She doesn't care, right? They go, they talk about how they go to couples therapy and way too late.
Right.
Beyond.
At
I
least
just
they're doing it, but yeah.
no, it's just not even at least they're doing. In my mind, they're checking a box, right? They are, and a lot of people do this. The truth is, a lot of couples who are really at the end to kind of check a box. This is a last ditch effort, but they're too far gone. There's too much
Sure.
hurt and too much resentment, and it's just there's sometimes a lot of people come to couples therapy to split up, which seems like what they did, right? When they say bye, just like I'll see you in therapy on Wednesday, like I wonder what that session was like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm
And I think what was interesting to me about that dialogue at the end is it almost felt like random chance meets inertia got them to finally be in this place. What I mean by that is we all know it was not good, but it was almost this unexpected where Sierra's direct dialogues with each of them pushed each of them into a space, an idea, and started getting them to think about this in a way maybe neither of them would have gotten to this place, which I think as we both discussed previously, what is for the best,
yeah,
but it
totally.
might have taken another 6 months to a year
Who
without
knows?
this sort of push that got them out. Like it was almost inevitable from all the things that happened in the last two episodes that she was like, I wasn't planning, I wasn't thinking about this in that way. And that in the same breath, she's like, I'm staying in a hotel for the next few nights.
Totally. I think right. Yes, for sure. Yeah, it seemed like she started the conversation being like something has to change. And but then she was like, but it can't without this space, you know.
For sure.
I think the context of it, the proximity, being in the house. Obviously, the thing is, like, they would never have gotten. I think they would never have met. They would never have gotten together in the first place if it wasn't for this show and this house.
Mm.
Because they met in the Hamptons. They met originally like as a hookup, which is interesting. I have
Wow. I
also
need to
thoughts
do a
on that.
rewatch. I've forgotten that origin story.
Yeah, they met. This is how they met. So, and Amanda even says like this house has played such a role in us and our growth and our relationship. It's just the whole. But like it's almost forces you into this situation. So like it's like impossible for me to say they wouldn't have broken up if they hadn't been in the house, because they wouldn't have been together if they hadn't been in the
Y-
house.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And so like summer camp, like it's just like proximity, and things. And I think the same with with Sierra and West this past season. I think that they would never have gotten back together if they were not in the house. Again, obviously
Yeah.
they wouldn't have gotten together in the first place if they weren't in the house, but just the effect of the proximity, being around somebody that you have a connection with. It's like such a hard thing to like be like, no, this isn't good for me. And now I'm sort of to Sierra and West, like it's
Totally.
like knowing like, okay, this isn't good. This is the same thing, but like being around each other in each other's sort of orbit, is the biggest proximity for a relationship. This is how work affairs happen. This is all a work affair, right? They are all co-workers and colleagues. They're friends, but
Paid.
but yeah, even Amanda and Sierra, their goodbye, they were like, nice working with you. Like one of them said, nice working
Did
with
they
you.
say really?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I didn't catch that. That's
So
hilarious.
yeah, and so I think that the circumstances of all of this is accelerates everything, right? Whether it's
Totally.
something
Both
getting off
the
the
connection
ground.
together
Exactly.
and the
And the
separation. Yeah.
friendships too, the friendships also.
I was gonna ask what did you think of Kyle's reaction to her kind of dropping that not unexpected in my mind as a viewer bomb of sorts?
I
Kind of what
mean,
you thought of what he had said and thought about it.
yeah, I mean, I think in the moment I mean, I think he was like, okay, I mean, like, what is he really gonna do? Hold on, I'm looking at my phone because I obviously took copious notes.
I would hope so.
Um, so I'm going to what I said about,
Thank you.
yeah. Oh, it's just, you're welcome. Yeah. Um, they kind of go through this like sort of montage, they both cry and Amanda's like, we've had our best times here. She's like, but we've also had our worst times
Yeah.
here. And I mean, if you think about it, in some of the montages that we've seen like on social media, I mean, I've seen, it's like their fights have like been awful. I mean, it's just, it's so bad. And she was like, yeah, something fundamentally has to change. And he just says like, basically like, okay, like I don't want this. This isn't what I want, but like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? And then it just ends. The season ends with he closes the door and like that's it. I was waiting I was like, are they gonna follow up? Like, is there gonna be like something? But it was just it
Yeah.
was a perfect ending. I mean, it actually was a perfect ending given everything that's going on.
I thought that door close, ending scene, there was such symbolism to me, and your reference of the house as its own cast member, where she turns and she's looking at Kyle, and they're both, eyes welled with tears and have been crying, and she says, "Bye," and I thought it was going to be Kyle, and she said, "Bye, house."
Mm,
And I think that's just such a commentary on where they're at, even
totally,
just unspoken, just in between the
totally.
lines. It wasn't a goodbye to, and maybe they didn't realize it was fully ending, or both are in a little denial as they're going through it. But
Yeah,
it just kind of struck me that she's looking at her partner, her husband, who she's potentially separating from, and staring at him and says, "Bye, house," as they're
yeah,
both crying.
yeah. Totally, totally, totally. Yeah, and they have this like really loving like hug. I mean,
Yeah, it's touching.
yeah, it is, and I think it just, I don't know, like how obviously like how subsequent conversations went about like this has to be it, or and like when West enters the picture,
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't know like that, but yes,
A question that reminded me of something I wanted to ask you. So, I feel like the Amanda West storyline of like present day, sort of present day, at least, much later than the season we're watching, started to come out in the last like 4 to 5 episodes
yeah.
in the news and otherwise, social media. Do you think, I'm guessing the answer is yes, but do you think production changed some of the scene stuff they had to show more of the time between Amanda and West and potential connection as a precursor?
I've been wondering that too. And
Yeah.
I wish I knew.
We need to
Maybe
be
the
in the
answer
room.
maybe the answer's out there somewhere. Maybe someone, I would think yes.
I would think, right? Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, there was that hug that they had after Kyle and
Long
Carl
hug.
got in a huge
Long hug.
fight. Yeah. And but people are really speculating that they were hooking up, that and I actually really don't think
Speculating what?
that they
That
were
they
that,
like,
like that the timeline of their relationship that they were, like, that there was something going on while they were in the house or even before. I mean,
oh, oh, wow.
I've read some speculations that it was even before and this was all very calculated and, like, it was, b
What?
I honestly I actually don't buy it. Like, it was just, like,
Ooh.
I read something and I would credit the person who wrote that, but I don't remember who, about some speculation that Amanda and West had, like, plotted this and that, like, Amanda was gonna sort of push the marriage, to the end on the season, and then they were gonna be, like, painting Kyle as a really bad guy, and then they were gonna, like, have sort of like, okay, well, this is justified given all of this, you know?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
That is so diabolical.
It's
It's true.
diabolical. Yes, it's diabolical. I mean, that's what people were saying in response to it. I I personally
We'll give it
on the
low,
record,
low. Yeah.
on the reg I just I don't see, because and the reason why I don't buy it is because, as I said before, like, this kind of shit happens. This shit happens all the time where people are in these horrible, toxic, abusive marriages. It affects everything around them. They can't get out. They think there's no other way. They think
Hmm.
their life will fall apart if they leave. They think this is just what it is. It affects, they have emotional I mean, I certainly think Wes and Amanda, obviously, they were friends. They're very close and connected. Like, he's there for her. He's supporting her. If you want to call that an emotional affair, sure, fine. You know what I mean? If you,
But
yeah,
to your point, the first time I really, obviously there's some bias in retrospect of the news coming out, and then you're like,
sure,
really
sure.
looking at their time together on screen. But I didn't really notice any of West being a particularly involved, supportive person for her in a, you know, explicit way until that night when they're Wes and Kyle are talking in the bedroom, and Wes saying like, "Go apologize to her. She's in the bathroom crying." Right?
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
felt like the first time where I was like, "Oh, this person's inserting themselves into
yeah.
the relationship," and really, so I don't know. That just struck me that West is a pretty non-confrontational person and doesn't get involved in a lot, so it was kind of atypical to me.
Yeah, but yes, maybe that sort of initiation, like, yeah, where he sort of initiated, like, entering a space that was not like, when he moved his chair over at the fight, I mean, like, during that
Right.
dinner, the dinner that turned, but
Yes.
he certainly has been an ear and a presence, and for both of
I guess
them, I mean,
I'm just saying I feel like maybe it's even like accelerated happened a lot more in the
yeah,
latter half of that summer where he
yeah.
really started to be there in that
Yeah.
way, or you're at least seeing it on screen more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's happening also because, I mean, it's just they're getting to a point of no I mean, in my opinion, they've been at a point of no return, Kyle and Amanda, for basically their
Oh,
entire relationship. But
yeah.
this one is just much more, it just in your face. I mean, their dynamic has always been the same. It has just really escalated, you know.
Yeah.
And
Um, Go ahead. I wanted to make sure we cover
I know there's so much.
West and Sierra
Yeah.
and the Lindsay Carl dialogue
Yeah.
from season
Yeah, yeah,
finale,
yeah.
both of those.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow.
Well, the thing I want to say before
Hmm.
that, it's about Sierra.
Hmm.
The scene, if you ask me, like, what was the most uh intense or impactful or just, you know scene of the finale that really, like,
Yeah.
it was when Amanda was talking to Sierra and Mia at the party, um and Amanda is crying, and it's after, of course,
Yo, yes.
that is when Sierra basically, and I mean, at this point, she has explicitly suggested, "Hey, maybe you guys should separate. Maybe you should spend some time apart," to both of them, right?
Right.
As you said, to both of them separately. But she really hands it to Amanda, basically, and she's like, "You like, hold on, I wrote it down, but I wanted
She's
to
going to her
remember it.
notes. She's going to her notes.
I wanted to remember it, but I posted it on Threads because I was like, "Holy shit, this quote." I would just wanna remember the exact quote that she says. Um,
And Sabrina's there too, right? It's the
no,
three
it's
of them.
Mia. It's Mia and
Oh, it's
Sierra.
Mia. Right, right,
Yeah, it's
right.
Mia and
Yeah.
Sierra, and, I think Mia's sort of trying to figure out, like, the line and what she can say as a friend. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're, like,
Mm-hmm.
new friends, but
For sure.
she's also like, "If this was me," she says, "If this was me, Sierra would have, like, been over packing my bags," you know?
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, I cannot find it, and this is like
I
a
thought that was great. Yeah, like while you're looking for that, just to add to it as context, I feel like it felt like both Sierra as a very close friend in that moment in time and Mia as a newer friend, but with this Sierra as a middle reference point of friendship between the two, it felt like both Mia and Sierra are taking the kid gloves that they had
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
been treating Amanda with off,
Yes.
and to be that legit friend that's gonna
Yes.
call them on and be like, I can't do this for that much longer. Like, if you're gonna have, you got to learn the things.
Dude,
Like, and yeah, I
yeah.
can't watch this for you. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, she says, "You are in charge of your life. Stop letting life happen to you." And I just yes, exactly, like,
Snaps.
amen, amen. I just, I in a lot of my work, I mean, there are people, it's just the Amanda really has a stuck victim mentality, I mean, she
Sure.
just does, like, everyone is in charge of their own life. There are consequences to decisions, obviously, like, things are not going to be
Hmm.
easy to make a change, but this was 10 years, I think she just loves the victim, and listen, I honestly, like, I don't think I don't think anybody is a victim here. I mean, a villain. I don't think anybody's a villain. I
Mm.
think that, I mean, I just think that this is all very human, people have stuff to work on, like, it takes 2 to tango in any kind of situation, in any kind of dynamic, I think that,
You
like
mean you're speaking specifically to Kyle Amanda?
yeah, Kyle
No
and
villain?
Amanda,
Okay,
just in
not the.
general, I mean, in general, like, I mean, there are just really, like, very few villains, but there are people like Amanda who take on this role of and attach themselves to suffering, basically. Like, I mean, the suffering does something for her. It means something for her. It's sort of part of who she is. She gets a lot of
Yeah.
attention from it, right? She gets a lot of friends and family support, right? Like she gets and people have said that this was calculated on her part. Like people have said like she stayed married to
This
Kyle.
meaning
Basically, like, people have said that she stayed married to Kyle to, like, be on the show, and this is, like, her storyline, and,
like her work through the last season was this
yeah.
calculated thing is an
No,
accusation. I see.
over time, like, people have said that,
Oh
like,
wow.
and I just really at least not consciously, maybe subconsciously, you know,
Sure.
that she wants, you know, attention and validation and all that. I mean, it's true, I mean, Sierra says to her, like, you like, you don't have self-esteem, or she says to herself, I don't have self-esteem, I don't have confidence, I'll never find someone else or whatever. That's like a very surface level way to say it. Like, yes, she has low self-esteem, but like it's deeper than that. It's like a deeper self-worth issue, and somewhere along the line, Amanda grew up not just not having the self-worth and the confidence, and then she got involved in relationships that reinforced that, right? People who did not treat her
Right.
well, and Kyla is one of those people, and as a result of that, she gets all this attention and affection and validation from other people, like, from being on the show, from her friends, from being in this role, "Look at what an asshole he is, look at how he treats me, da da da," right? When, like, the reality is,
Right.
like, I mean,
She's a participant.
she has agency, it's hard, it is hard, of course, to leave a situation, whatever that is, but it's not
Hmm.
impossible, you know?
Right.
And I just
I was going to ask, do you remember? I don't remember exactly because I was so struck by I don't know, how poignant both what Mia said, but particularly Sierra in the delivery. You know, it felt like it could have been her as a trained psychologist delivering this in a session to a client
yeah,
almost. Like she's so understands Amanda. I mean, such a commentary with the fallout, of course,
I
but
know.
that she can see it and give this very pure advice that is right for her. I was curious, do you remember how Amanda reacts to her, what she says in that moment? I didn't remember. I'm not remember.
She just kinda hears it. I mean, she's tearful and, I mean, she just, like, kinda hears it, and then Kyle comes
Mm.
over. It's that moment where Kyle comes over because they're all like
Oh my
yeah.
God. So does he overhears that last line she says, right?
It seems like he does. It seems like because
Oh,
he's,
that
like,
was so
so
hard to watch.
yeah, because Dara is like, "Go over there and apologize to your wife," and he's like, "Okay, okay, okay." Meanwhile, he's terrified. He's, like, terrified, this whole apology, like, this is also, like, like, Kyle gets a lot of like, he owes you an apology, like, he's always apologizing for the wrong thing, like, "I don't wanna hear your sorries anymore." I mean, this, like, and so So Kyle
Yeah.
is like understandably, Kyle is like feeling really. Kyle is just like his esteem and confidence is also destroyed, of course, by this
Oh yeah, yeah. So
relationship.
bad this summer.
Like he can't even like approach his wife, and like there was a scene of them in the kitchen, like sort of orbiting each other. Ugh, it just I just
When he's like, I got chips or
oh my
something.
god, oh my
I
god,
was like, my God, the vibes are
torture,
so off.
horrible
So off.
torture.
Wait, so with him, because I remember Sierra's last line is like, yeah, just some time apart, like living in a different space for a while. And then Kyle's like, hey,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
like,
yeah. And they're like, "Get
it's
away,"
so
and
awkward.
Amanda's like, Get out of here." But I think, Sierra delivers it in such a yeah, like the fallout and like she must like just be so destroyed because it's such a loving
Fallout with West stuff, you mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
betrayal of Amanda, I mean, it just
right.
is it is it's really loving. It was like a really loving thing to say to her as a friend. It's a really hard thing to say and really loving, and like it just is really brave of her to say it, to get to that point where she's just like, "You are not a victim here. You can choose
Yeah,
your life. Like, you don't have to live like this. You have options." Like, it's very hard to say that to a friend, to someone who you really love and care about. And it's the truth, and it's the truth. And
yeah.
so I've always said Sierra is such a good friend. Like, I mean, it just wow, I cannot the reunion is gonna be so
So,
wild
bro,
and
oh
everything
my
that has
God.
happened now. And Amanda even
I,
she's like, "I have such good friends, like, I'm so lucky to have you guys." Like, I mean, when they say bye, Sierra looks at her, like, their goodbye was also, like, so intense. Like, Sierra was like, "You're beautiful and amazing, and I'm here for you." And, like
yeah.
but this just goes to
I,
show, I mean, truly sorry, I can't shut up.
you're good. Go for it.
This just excuse me. This just goes to show how deep Amanda's I mean, I do not think she is a bad person. Like, I really
Or just like pathology or whatever she's
I
got. She's got stuff.
to hurt her friend like this so bad, like, after that kind of friendship and how she's been there for her, it's like, it's not about Sierra, like, it's just truly about Amanda and how she feels like West sees her in a way that Kyle never saw her and is there for her in a way that Kyle never was. Like, that need and that drive and that inability to sort of not have that kind of, is like is truly pathological, and like this is the effect of it, right? Like her friendship, her like actual
Sure.
true friendships who like care about her and are there for her. Like, it's dangerous to be close with somebody who has this level of low self-worth because he just hurts people. West is the same. West is the same.
Yeah.
It shows up different ways, but he's the same.
So that was your last little bit you wanted to share?
So sorry. Yeah.
I was just gonna say to your point about what Sierra says and like saying that to a friend, that it's one of those moments that's so brave because you know that your friend, it's a thing you can't take back, but you're saying it to help your friend grow,
Yep.
even if it means your friend might, it could even end a
Yep.
relationship. It's one of those things you share a moment that a thing, a thought that helps your friend, but if they're not ready to hear it, it could end a friendship. And
Absolutely.
it's really brave because you're doing it. That's such a level of love. You're willing to risk
Yep.
losing this person to help them find themselves and grow, right?
Yes.
And that's such a pure friendship.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Or like a pure
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pure love. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
very much
it's a
so.
pure love. I mean, like family relationship, this shows up in family, it's so like whatever that love is yes, it's so pure that it's like I'm willing to let this go for you, like for you and your growth, like and
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so uh audience, part of the reason our time is tight is we both have sessions
Yes.
that we have to go to at the end of the hour. But how do you feel about a quick Carl and Lindsay tackle
Yeah,
before Wes and
yeah, yeah,
Sierra?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Carl and Lindsay. I mean, so they sort of speak in the igloo, and
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize she had this backstory, right? Because you and I have a running joke about Amanda and pot stirring, and you're you
Lindsay and
stand
pot
her
stirring.
hard.
Lindsay and pot
Did I
stirring.
say
Yeah,
Amanda? Yeah,
yeah,
sorry. Lindsay and pot
yeah.
stirring. No, Amanda's got her own stuff over there. And I always feel like she can be a little unnecessarily harsh and there's drama. Like pot stirring is fine. And I've gotta say, this episode and that scene and where she brings it together, I really come full circle on her of like just being really good and willing to have hard conversations that most people put off or avoid
Yeah.
or never touch again in their lives in a way that helps everyone grow.
Lindsay, the reason why I love her so much is
Yeah.
she's she's such a mush. Like Lindsay is like she has
Heart on her sleeve.
yeah, and like she has this tough exterior of like don't fuck with me and like, but like is she feels a lot. She feels really deeply. She's really vulnerable, like, she loves really hard, like, we see her over the years, like, totally lose her shit at, like, various partners and and it's like but that's
Yes.
because she's so, like that's because her feelings are so big. Like, she just is so and
Yeah.
when she is treated well and when she is, like, given that love, like, she's amazing. She's like a ride or die. Like, she is
Oh,
like,
for sure.
"I would do anything for you. Like, if you treat me well and you're kind and loving to me, like, I would die for you," basically. Like, and that's why she's just a good mom. I just, like, I love seeing her, like,
Mm,
be, like, a mom to her daughter. Like, I think it's, like, so sweet, I think she obviously, I mean
yeah.
the love she has for her kid is, like, so sweet, and I think that's because she just, like she has so much of it, but when she's not seen and when she's treated poorly, she fully attacks, and this happened with Carl's mom, she talks about that being sort of the catalyst
Right.
of, like, the
I
hurt.
didn't realize how much it was affecting her that she
I could
for all
tell
the shit giving of Carl that, the little digs she does at him with her dinner parties and whatnot, that
Yeah.
she was willing to like needed clearly and wanted to have that conversation.
Yeah, she was so I could tell so at Carl's soft bar opening was when, I mean,
Right.
so, which is a whole other plot line. Carl, I think it's amazing that he did that. I'm really happy for him. Anyway, I think watching Carl develop is like a really beautiful thing. So I just have to put that in there. I really think he's come so far. And I think he never would have done that if he was still with Lindsay. I think that, them breaking up also was like, let them both do what they needed to do, open a bar, have a kid
And
with someone, anyway.
mhm.
So I just think that they both like they split up and they did their own growth. Like a lot happened since they broke up, and now they can like kind of come back together as like as a friendship, and kind of see like what they did for each other in terms of their relationship and how they weren't.
But I feel like some of this summer has been frenemies vibes.
I
A
think they
little,
just a
and
little
so
had to find their footing.
this feels
Yeah.
like full closure and footing, and like the here forward for them, I think is great.
I think they had to find their foot. I mean, they were always friends. I mean, that's the thing. I think they were always friends. They were always better as friends. They talk about how they missed each other's friendship, I mean, to us, like to the, I mean,
Right,
like Lindsay has said
right.
that, Carl has said that, like in Lindsay's confessionals, like over this summer, we see her getting sort of more tender and more emotional around like the breakup and how she like misses him, in some way. And like, I think it's so sweet how like he bought a gift for Gemma and like then, like Lindsay came to his opening. Like I just think it's like they were always better as friends and like I think they learned a lot from their, you know, romantic relationship and their engagement and their ending their
Yeah.
engagement. I think there's a lot to learn from that, but I think like like they were always just friends. Like some people are, I mean it's just like they're it's just sort of better as friends and I think that like they
Friends with like to your point, I guess what I was probably sensing then is this underlying resentment of a lack of closure that Lindsay had.
yeah.
So she'd do some digs sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I think she taught in the conversation. I'm glad she brought it up, or at least it also struck me of that moment from the last episode before the finale when Carl cannot be calmed down in this like testosterone, egos, just
Yeah.
crazed vibes. And just seeing her hold his arms, be like, Carl, Carl. And I just sensed this. It felt like she was the right person for that moment, given the context of
Totally.
everything they've been through together. And it
Totally.
worked. And to see her reference that in that dialogue was really interesting.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, totally, like, I kind of needed you in that moment." Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what he was going to say there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Lindsay, I mean, like, when I was when Carl's mom came to talk to her and she was so tense, right? And she got a lot of flack for that. Like, people were like, "Can you just be nice?" And in my mind, I was like, "This is a girl that's hurt. She's hurt. She's so
Yeah.
hurt. She was so hurt." And she came back and said that later. She was like, "I never heard anything from Carl's mom after we split up. Like, like, I felt really mistreated by her." Like, it's just the pain, when someone like Lindsay is hurt, it comes off, to just go on the attack, and it just is,
Right.
and
Right. Yeah.
and she didn't feel seen, she didn't feel appreciated, she didn't feel understood, right? She felt like she's keeping this at the surface level of, like, how's Gemma, and I think, like, Lindsay's very protective of that and, like, that piece of her, and she didn't want to share. She wanted to share with this woman who hurt her about, like, how her daughter was, it's like, "You don't get access to this information," but it came off as, like,
Totally.
being bitchy, but it really was, like, came from a place of, like, real pain, and so, like, to be able to say
Yeah.
that to Carl, the one thing I will say is, like, of course, Lindsay initiated this conversation, and she was saying, like, she's disappointed that Carl kind of didn't kind of come to her with, like, a
Right.
closure convo, but, like, this is not surprising, like, it's just I think that, like, her.
For Carl or for
Yeah,
her?
yeah, I mean, Carl's difficulty also with having hard conversations is something that we've seen, with Kyle and
Totally.
with, I mean, just, like, but he's hearing it at least, and so maybe he'll get to a point where he can actually have a conversation. Also, like, with Bailey, like, what is happening with them? Like, we see no conversation of, like, him being like, "What's up? What's up? This is how I feel." I mean, he just it's the difficulty with with understanding and communicating,
Yeah.
and this is,
Do
yeah.
do you remember the moment, and then I think we have to pivot to West Sierra,
Yeah.
but the moment after they have that dialogue, Lindsay and Carl, and everyone's going to bed, and you hear, like, I think off screen maybe, I don't know, it's just one of those kitchen monitors or something, but you hear Carl say, "I love you, Lindsay." Do you remember this? Isn't that
Uh,
his voice?
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it just
yeah,
felt like such a
yeah,
like, I don't think he would have said that at that moment if they hadn't just like, I think that's them going forward,
yeah,
and
totally.
I'm excited and happy for them as friends
Me
in that
too.
way.
People are saying they should give it another shot. No, no, no.
No.
Do not give it another shot. Stay friends. They posted something like Uncle Carl or something like with Gemma, and I'm like, this is how it should be. Uncle Carl
Yeah.
is the role, is the move. Like,
And adds together about
oh
their
yeah.
weird
Oh my
drama.
god, it's so good. It's so good. You guys, amazing. Keep it up, please. I am so here for that. Yes.
Incredible what they've
Yes.
done with that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you wanna pivot?
Oh my god, I cannot believe we have 6 minutes to talk about
I
West.
know, it's not enough. Okay,
This is a good example though of, like, not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good, right? Like, we could talk for so long about this, and there's so much more I wanna cover, but this is what we can do.
sure.
So, yes. So, Sierra and West, the thing that I really wanna say about this is that when they make up, when they have that conversation in the coffee place, like, a few
Yes.
episodes ago, this, yet again, was entirely driven by Sierra. They're, like, having this whole, like, "Oh, it's fine now," like, West, like, took responsibility and really apologized, and I'm like, You literally you dragged him to this. Like, what is he supposed to say in that moment? Like, you were the not drag, I mean, I think it was genuine on her part, but, like, he would not have, she takes the time for this conversation because she really wants to move forward with a friendship that he would have continued to avoid everything, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I think what's interesting is when Laura and I were watching it, Laura's my wife for the audience.
yeah,
I remember saying to her during that scene where they're talking it out and she asked him to go to that whatever spot early. Just I turned to Laura and I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this and I know what's gonna happen
yeah,
with West and
yeah,
Amanda later. Like
yeah,
watching her eloquently kind of pour her soul out about who she is as a person, why she was so hurt.
yeah,
And that was just really powerful for me as a viewer, just like, oh damn, this
Yeah.
like that hurts. And then also in the same token, to your point, in retrospect and a little in the moment, I felt like West lacked such eloquence of what he could say in response. It felt like these, I don't know, it was just such basic,
It was so
simple.
basic. Well, and, like, the thing is, it's not that he wasn't genuine, like, he said, like, "I miss you too," like,
He was, yeah.
he was genuine, but he didn't and never would have initiated this conversation, which was the issue the entire one of the issues, which the entire time with them. She never knew where he stood until he, like, crushed her, publicly, right?
First time, first time.
First time. Then, like, they're again in proximity, so, like, they're vibing because, like, they vibe, like, Sierra has this wall up and she's like, "This guy hurt me, I don't wanna be friends," and everyone in the house is like, "You should be friends, why not? Like, he's grown and, like, be forgiving," and all this stuff, and it's like, her gut was like, "Of course, right." She says in this
I mean,
episode.
Mia also, the thing
Oh,
Mia
yeah, I
said
love
to
that.
it,
Mia
yeah.
was like, "West, damn it, I like you, but, like, you hurt my friend, I don't want to like you." And I think, yeah, like, he's charismatic and he's whatever, but, like, that type of avoidance of, like, where you're at with something, the difficulty communicating that to another person is, like, ends up being just a million times more harmful and hurtful, like, and it's happening again, right? Jesse is like, "Dude, what's happening here? Are you?" So they kiss, obviously. So they kiss, and I'm speeding this up because we have 2 minutes. So they kiss, and then, like, they make out like it's 5 in the morning, and they kiss again. They snuggle and say goodnight. Jesse witnesses this, and in the morning, Jesse's like, "Dude, West, what the fuck? What's happening here?" He's like, "I don't know," and he's like, "I don't."
He's like, did you guys talk before? And
Like,
he's
of
like,
course
no.
not. Jesse is like, "If you're doing this again, you have to be all in." West says, "I can't be a boyfriend." Like, like, and then Sierra says at some point, like, "Fool me once," basically, I don't wanna learn the same lesson twice, and it's like, I mean, I think there's so many lessons here.
Woo!
I mean, I'm sure Sierra is learning, like, I hope everyone is learning, but, like, the level of avoidance, the people that are afraid to hurt people and then down the line hurt them so much more. West is just an example of that, and I will also say that probably I don't know the future of him and Amanda, but he will not break up with her because he will not be able to hurt her, on top, and, like, even if he's not in it, and, like, who knows how West actually feels about the situation, like, he won't break up with her because he can't hurt people, because he can't hurt women, and the inability to hurt
But yet
women.
he's hurting them so much worse because of his inability to communicate some hurt
And this
or
is
hard.
and this is, like, such an important lesson. Like, it's like, it's okay. It's okay to hurt people. It's okay to hurt people up front. It's okay to hurt people by having close relationships in any capacity. You have the capacity to hurt someone, and it's
Right.
okay. It's life, it's human, it's relationships, and you have to be able to, like, do it in a way that is kind and loving, and it's just, this is watching it, it's so painful for that because it's just like, this could have been avoided, you
He's
know?
so bad at repair and at rupture.
I mean, it's just, he's
Like,
gonna go on. I mean, him and Amanda could stay together forever, which is wild. I mean, literally, they could stay together forever.
okay, so I know we have to end, but the reunion teaser
Oh
trailer,
my god.
viewer, if you haven't watched it, watch it. Nuts, just watching. To your point, it made me think of that, where it's like Kyle's like, what is happening?
I
What Wes,
Yeah,
go comfort your girl.
I
Kyle's like,
know.
oh
And
my god,
And Jesse's so sad. I mean, we
Jesse
didn't, the
crying.
friendships and all the friendship. I mean, yeah, Jesse's crying, so I feel like I lost a brother. I mean, this is a betrayal, on
He feels
so
betrayed
many
too. Then, yeah.
levels. Yeah, on so many levels, and it's just like the harm that this can all cause is like, I mean, is so much, so deep. So I can't wait to see the reunion. It'll be a 3-parter reunion. Maybe we will be back to cover that. But
I'm sure we'll be back for at least some of it.
yeah,
Don't worry.
there's even more.
You
I mean,
won't
this
miss
was
us.
just, there's a lot that we couldn't cover, but that is okay. Again, we were not letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. So thank you, Andrew, so much for joining.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
This has been Talk Relationship to Me, produced by Peach Island Productions. I'm Dr. Alana Hoffman. Do you have a question about relationships? I'd love to hear from you. Go to my website, dralanahoffman.com, and click contact, or you can find me on Instagram at dr.alanahoffman. You have all the info you need, including more about today's episodes in the show notes. And thank you all for listening, and go catch up on Summer House if you are behind.
Go see it. Go see it.
Yes.
Watch it.
Watch it.